What's money? Much money.
They charge it a different.
Shalom, 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 family. Oh Lord. Shalom, family. This is I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K. began at 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA, the only man with the rank and the authority to be Israel's leader at this time. I want to say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatam to my brothers, Yahweh Shamari Latan Basham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. Now this week, we are under curfew again. Our smart Prime Minister. It doesn't say no celebration in there. Just step up the curfew. 3 o'clock for this Labor Day weekend. He's not telling you that you can't have any celebration. He's just telling you that curfew 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. So we're under curfew. We have to be broadcasting from an area that does not require us to be traveling after class. When you finish, you go straight to, you stay home. Or you walk next door to your home. Right like that. Oh my, just little bit. All right. Yeah. Got that. Good. All right. Then I'm able to connect the chat. Oh, let me get that selected. The topic for today, we're looking at Israelites in the truth. We are saying that if you are Israelite, if you are an Israelite and you're in the truth, you could be saved. We're already slaved. You could be saved from the plagues that are here now and the plagues to come. And we use the word could for a reason, because we always have to remember Job. Can't fly up when God feels like, because you're in the truth, you must be saved. Nah. All right. But who are the Israelites? We're going to tell you that you could be saved, but we have to kind of identify, for the sake of our what they call the new persons in the church again, young convert. All right, but in the truth, they're what? They're a young man or a young woman. So for the purpose of our young men and our young women, just put it in the truth. Who are the Israelites? Well, you notice they're always confused. It's only in the truth after going through the baptism that you understand. But they always confuse Israelite with Israel. Proper. True. Because they always think that it's persons that are in the land of Israel that are the Israelites. Got it, I reflect hard enough. Don't tell me can do class without it. Not much of a difference. Whoever know that message will make a difference. Alright, open it back. Yeah, the next one reflect less. That one reflect less. Yeah, man, from the opinion. Yeah. All right. Deuteronomy 27:1. We are going to identify the Israelites, not the Israelis. Prior to 1948, what were they called? Jewish. But after 1948, now they get smart. And they are now called Israeli. Because they want to name you from the land that you were born. So you're born in Jamaica, they call you what? Jamaican. You're born in America, they call you American. You're born in Trinidad, they say you're a Trinidadian. Yes. So you're born in the land of Israel, they call you Israeli. And confuse people, people not even realize that there is Israeli and there is Israelite. To be honest, I never really hear them refer to themselves as Israelite. They refer to themselves as Israeli and Jewish. It's not much of a difference. It's like just this is. You see, the thing is, this is supposed to go a little taller, but it sticks. It's not going up. Not going up. Anyway, we'll continue. Deuteronomy 27:1.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I commanded
in Moses and who?
With the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
Keep all the commandments. So the Israelites were commanded to keep all the commandments. Right? So all the commandments that Moses put forth are got from the Most High to give to the people. The people were commanded, and it's the elders of Israel. And this is where they trick the people out. They name the land Israel. They have named the land Israel, so people get the impression that what?
Israel refers to a place and not a people.
Exactly. So people now get the impression that this land is the land that is, this is the people that is in the Bible, because the country named Israel. But what it says, the elders of Israel, and the elders of Israel will be what? People. People. Referring to people. What we call whole people.
Yeah.
Right. So the elders would not be any young man or young woman. Person of Israel, the male of Israel with age. They became the elders of Israel. And if you remember who was named Israel, who was it? It was Jacob, with his name changed by the Most High from what? From Jacob to Israel. You don't get that in church. Can you do go Bible class? They're not going. They don't teach. So well, to be honest, some church tell you that Jacob's name was changed to Israel and so on. But some don't. They go teach them the answer. But some don't tell you for whatever reason. Maybe no, not so much, not so much. Maybe they don't know. But would you swear that they don't know?
Well, yes, sir.
Who would swear that the church is in ignorance?
Well, yes, sir. Even though growing up in church, I have never heard it taught that the Old Testament basically they don't touch it. So there is a liturgy or, say for example, a program for the entire year or for every Sunday that you go out to church or on a weekday that surrounds itself around maybe the Psalms and the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the books in the Old Testament are not touched. But isn't it a fact that when they go through theological college they have to go through the entire Bible?
No.
No, they don't. So is it that they are groomed from that point to groom us to believe the lies?
Well, hear what? You see, theological college, depending on which theological college, it's not so much the Bible that they focus on, You understand? Because theology is not the Bible, They are trained to be leaders. Right. And which is why you realize after going through theological college, you might see a pastor in the New Testament church, and then you hear, oh, he's not pastor there again, he's now in the Pentecostal church. Switch. But if the congregation switch, they say them backslide and them this and them that. But they don't say that of the pastor. There's the pastor, a couple of years the church I grew up in. The pastor that was there for quite a number of years, he had moved on and gone to Presbyterian. And then I think he left Presbyterian and go to another church. And he was pastor there. So it's not, that shows you one thing, that all the churches have the same foundation belief. There might be some maybe minor changes, but on the surface, they have the pillars of Christianity is what will bind them together. And what would that mean? What are the pillars of Christianity stand on? The white Christ, or Caesar Borgia, Christ died for everybody. Right? Don't tell you that all nations can be saved. That is for all the nations. And that the laws are done away. So you have the Christ, you have the everybody can be saved. Right. Which is for God so loved the world. There's a third one. What's the third thing? Other than we, yeah, you could say that's one because that's what they all teach. It's only the 7th day come now and say, you know, it's not done away with. But the 7th day tell us tell you that you can they preach against pork. But a lot of the members eat salt mackerel and tin mackerel. So the thing is, you know, no matter how subtle the wrong is, it's still a wrong. And this is what our enemies have learned. Because now what they give, you know, they make products from pork. Like I don't want to gelatin or gluten. One of those come from pork. It can come from seaweed, but that's more expensive. So then they go the cheaper way and they take it from pork. So you eat pork byproduct. And a lot of the processed food that are, especially in America, we're not so much a processed food society here. But in the States, especially you live in the city, you don't get fresh food often enough. You want fresh food, go where the white people shop. That's where the fresher foods are. Yeah. They have a supermarket, I think Lion or something like that. They reserve the fresher food for their people. You know, you get the food that are probably a couple of days from expiring. But they are processed food. But the point is, the things that they use in processing the food are many times byproduct of unlawful food. So you've been commanded to keep all the commandments, break the commandments without even knowing, because you partake in unlawful foods unknowingly. But does that absolve you from you not knowing that you commit a crime? Does that absolve you from the law? Does that give you a pass on the law? Ignorance of the law excuses no man. Same thing for our laws. Meaning, all right, give an example. You're driving down the road and you make a left turn. There's no sign there that says no left turn. But there was a sign there that says no left turn. But it got knocked down. You unknowingly that there was a sign, you made the left turn. Should you get a ticket?
Yes.
Exactly. And I remember I got caught with that once and I argued with the cop. Why you not knowing the law don't mean say you're not guilty, you know. That's the way it is. So they put in unlawful foods in your foods. In other words, you buy a bread, but the bread was made with lard. And what is lard? Lard is a byproduct of pork. But you didn't know. But the bread is nice. And as far as the concerned, you're eating wheat. but you're taking in unlawful food by product. That makes you insane.
Hold on. But in that sense, because your corner, that corner, Israel is corner
Mhm.
when it comes to our food intake. Right?
Well, that is the easiest thing for them to use to keep us sinning. Remember now, as long as you are in sin, they are on top of you. And they know that. This is from week this thing coming in my mind about guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla war, what in our record, we fought guerrilla war, right? One other thing in being successful in guerrilla war is to know your enemy. If you don't know them, you can't beat them. I mean, when it comes to bomb, yeah, you can always fly over and drop bombs, but to get on the ground and know when to knock your enemy and when to pull back, you have to know your enemy. And this is how our enemy defeats us. They have our record. And trust me, they have devoted their time. In your record, they learn. Even our shows, the thing they don't listen to Command in General Yana. They know that Command in General Yana is speaking truth to them. They said it with their own mouth. It's the only group that they have not been able to either set you up, to set up the leader and take him down. Take down your leader. They have said that. So they know who you are as a people. And it is their wish and doing that you should not rise. But you are commanded to keep all the commandments. So, by the way, perfect, what we just described, perfect example of, remember the serpent, when the Most High put the first between the serpent, the seed of the woman, and the seed of the serpent, and they said, your his head shall bruise your heel. Well, that's the perfect example. They are trying to keep you down while you are trying to rise.
Because it's not just because they know that the moment that we wake up and start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, obeying the Lord, that's when we will rise to the top. And or rising to the top means don't fall of them.
This is why they don't like it. Verse 28.
Deuteronomy 28.
Yes. And 1.
And Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if we shall do what Moses command and the elders command us to do, 27 and 1, which is to keep all the commandments, if we shall do that, continue.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day,
Mm-hmm.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
And that's why, because what? You can be above all nations, not by battle, not by war in the other nations, but just be what? Just be obedient to the God of your forefathers. Just by being obedient makes you. That is why I always hear they say this warfare is not carnal, meaning we are constantly at war with them, but it's not a war in which we take up ammunition and fight. We had to do that when we were in the land, but it's not a war that we're going to take up ammunition and fight. This is a war in which you are struggling to keep the commandments of the Most High.
Um,
And if you don't do that, notice in this world, it's not easy. Keep the commandments of the Most High in this world. Think of the foods. The food is just one. For you to eat according to how the Bible, our laws say that you should eat. Yeah, no, you have to be rich. You have to have money. Eh? Plant your own food. Well, in order to plant your own food, you better become a farmer because you can't go to work and plant all the food that you need at the same time. You're planting. What is it? Possible? It's not possible. Persons who plant all the food that they need, they are full-time farmers. Exactly. So it'll be a full-time farmer. However, if you decide, yeah, I'm going to work and I'm going to do some amount of farming, that can help. But only to the farm because about your meat kind. Hmm? You buy it already. So whenever you go to buy the food, now this is where you get trapped, you know. Is when you have to go and buy. That's where the trap is. You get some unclean thing somewhere. You plant your own food. Let's say you could have planted all the food that you need. You're perfectly fine. But then if it's planting, then you're going to eat straight vegetable and you might not want that. And you shouldn't because there are persons who end up when they and it's normally when they get up in age, they get deficient of some nutrients. But you eat meat and the meat cover just by eating some meat cover a wide variety of nutrients that your body needs. Right. Especially protein. So this is one way you know your energy, your enemy find a way to trap you. And guess what? We the truth, you know, and we figure it out, you know. But can you change? Can you change? We are struggling to change. We not eating, we are not bombarded with this processed food thing out here. Processed food out here is yeah, cheaper in the States. Exactly. Mm. It's cheaper where they think it matters most because trust me, they want Judah. If Judah don't rise, we can't rise, you know. Isn't that what Christ said? Judah first. I mean, we are part of the kingdom of Judah and Benjamin. But the tribe itself, if Judah don't rise, the nation of Israel won't rise. Huh? And this is what our enemies have figured out. So they realize now that they don't have to oppress all 12 tribes. They hold on to the Judites, they hold on to the Benjamites, and well, Ephraim and Manasseh. This is where they put pressure to control the black Americans. Those that are rich have to come to swing fully their way. Then put them in dress, then put the men, all the successful actors have to wear dress, you know. That the man should not wear what pertains to the woman. Ephraim, which is Puerto Rican, they control it too. If you read Revelation, they tell you about the two olive trees, I think, which is the northern and southern kingdom. And Christ talk about the prodigal son coming together, which again is the northern and the southern kingdom. Who control the northern kingdom? The Ephraimites, who today are the Puerto Ricans. Who control the southern kingdom? The throne was controlled by the Judites, who today are the Black Americans. So they only two of them like this. And when they watch the American coat of arms, they feel. They ever take a note of it. They have the eagle, and the eagle have 13 arrows in its claws. Count them. You know that is us. All and all the 13. Remember Joseph split to Ephraim and Manasseh. So your count, you will get 13, right? It's really 12 because 2 would be 1 or should be 1. So we don't study ourselves as much as our enemies study us. And this is where we have a problem because they do it day in, day out. While we are out there partying and a dirty wine and a skin up and wait up and thing, they are studying us. Why you think when COVID licked them, they released those 2 years of socket? Huh? You think they know that COVID is a punishment from the most persons who they had in cages and made them essential workers? Because we, the 12 tribes, are the essential workers in the kingdom. COVID just exposed it, right? It just exposed it. All right, so that is 13. That is 28 and 1. Okay. Right. That's why they ate it, because keeping the laws makes you be a ruler. So they realize how that, you know what they used to do at first? Is try and invade us. And many times they were put to shame. So they realize no. After slavery, they realize to control us is not to invade us, but to keep after New Year's, Boxing Day, all those holidays that are not in the Bible. Mother's Day, birthday, all the days that are not in the Bible. You are, it's pushing down to the very clothes that you wear. Right? Every way that they can push the wrong on you, they do it. Black and black crimes. They provide a weapon. We don't make guns, but we are flooded with it. Often. And they are not cheap. You can imagine a man can approach a father, you know, think on anything on. Break my fast, I break my fast for a morning. The thing we have fun in value how much money and then can't buy him breakfast. Okay. Hmm? If you work off your person, yes, you're going to say, I see him black brother buy a game. Yeah. So how would that black brother get it to buy it? To give it? They made it available. Even though the laws prevent you, whenever in America, blacks are more restricted from owning firearms. Yet still, we are killed by it in exponential proportions. How comes? Give me drop down to 6:15.
The book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All right. Now, what do you mean by what curses are? What are curses again? It's a but it shall come to pass, meaning that it shall come to be, to happen. If you don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, or you listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, right, which is the Bible, more in particular and more specific, the commandments, right? If you don't listen, and the statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses and curses are on. You can go get them. You tell me what curses. So these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Like when the dog gives something that run down when it's small and catch you and bite you. Yeah, the dog overtake you. Well, think of the dog as the curse. That's how it have our people. I remember I was couple weeks ago I was taking Shanti through some people drive on sure one said, that's an Israelite farm. I remember one time, two to three times, as a pastor, I said, approaching this house, and we said, that's an Israelite house. And he said, oh, you know that. The Bible said that we see a black man walk the house. I mean, you could see because the curses are obvious. Two fields side by side. The one that is controlled by the Edomite, because you know a lot of Edomites in southern India. You know that, the red nigger, they don't call it red nigger. And that is where we got tricked again. They tell you, remember one time at church, one church, they say, they talk about white man out there, they say, there's no white man in Jamaica. There's some red people, but they are Negroes. They are red Negroes. Full of white man. Yeah. Because you are of your father, you're of your father's seed. So their seed is, you find it? Their seed is Edomite. Back to what I was saying. One farm here is controlled by the Edomite. One farm just right beside them, the Israelite. The rain fall on the two crop on the two field, but the Israelite one don't come. Interesting. What curse is it?
I don't understand the word.
Right. That is where they say, I curse you. Right. Because the evil. So we can say the wish of evil. Right? So all these curses, I mean, oh, which word is it? Oh, there's a word. Read it again.
To utter a wish of evil against one.
Yeah.
To implicate evil upon.
Implicate. Spell it. Implicate. Oh. All right. So let's think of um put, putting evil on you, right? So these curses that are befalling black people today are befalling the Israelites today. Come from who will come from? Yeah. Who set these curses on us? Who? Say no. Right. So God set these curses. So how you can escape it? You can't escape it. All right. So it says, all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. 16 now. 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Curse in the town, curse in the country. Right? What I spoke of earlier was the perfect example of being cursed in the field. The Israelites plant their crop. You see it dry up in the field. Right? You remember come up in. You have a lot of the red skin people come up in. You see the farms them down there. The farms down there are beautiful. And it's the same rainfall they both get. Because it's not like there's a funnel that funnel the rain to the Edomite farm and there's a canopy over the Israelite farm to block the rain. No. It's same rainfall. And it's the same crop. Same scallion. But you find that the worm eat the hello, trust me. When you go into these areas and really look, and before and you know, prior to now, prior to being in the truth, you see these things I don't understand why not. And they themselves don't understand it. So what they say? Obey them obey me.
When the army took over cities, was it certain people farmers?
No. When it was the infestation, both farms quicker. Why? And they didn't get any special help from the government to say help this one and do help this one, you know. They both get the same help, you know.
You're talking about the white, the ones, the red skin one,
Mm-hmm.
they most of the time have the infrastructure.
Right.
Infrastructure.
Right.
They have more length of water hoses. They have
same thing as rainfall dependent.
Same everything. When we pass there, we see pipelines spraying water on their field.
That was Manchester. We're talking about Central India. And even that when they have the water, even the area that they have the water, they will plant the crop. The crop will can come, you know, and they don't get the market. St. Elizabeth was one of the areas where it was more obvious. You have the field. Well, now they are going through a little drought, but who is in the better position? The man who used to have the better crops. He's in the better position because he was, before the drought, he was at a vantage point. He had the advantage. So after the drought, during the drought, he still have the advantage. The Edomite, the Israelite, he probably use him last dollar. to put out that set of melon. Because we saw some melon in the field spoil. It was dry out. Why the rain no come good on them? Don't. His crop, he might do him last $1 to farm, and then the crop gone. So what that makes it now? Even poorer than before. But this is what the Bible says would happen. Curse in the field. Now, you can't take the country life no more. You can't bother with the farm. So you go in the city. Yesterday again, we were going through part of Center must be, I think it was Dallas. No, there was a town that we were going through. I think it was Bulby. And I was explaining to Devos that this section was like Niagara town, right? And you could see the curse. You could see the hard life on the people. They have the roadside cooking. Their buildings are dilapidated. They are the flatfoot hustlers. And even when you go in the city among the other nation, and then you can argue and say, but the bank would lend them any money. You can argue that as to they not getting any money. But there are times when they do get money. But you cannot resist the will of the Most High. That's my point. You get me? So if you are not, each time you hear that, you should take a look. Make sure it's still broadcasting. If you are not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, you can't fight the will of the Most. Before you go. Most times, many Israelites slip through the cracks there. Yes. And they might gain some material things. They lose out on health, and they end up in prison.